United States Ambassador to Singapore, David Edelman, spoke about resilience and courage in the face of adversity during a ceremony marking the 10th anniversary of the September 11th attacks on Sunday.
2,996 people died in the terrorist attacks on September 11th, 2001. Among the dead were 411 first responders, emergency workers who responded to the scene, died as they attempted to save lives and fight fires. Tonight, as we commemorate the citizens of over 90 countries who perished in the 9/11 attacks, we pay tribute to all victims of terrorism in every nation around the world, as well as the resilience of the survivors and families affected. We must never forget those lost, but we must do more than simply remember them. We must sustain our way of life and remain united to prevent new attacks.
The memorial was attended by close to 300 members of the diplomatic community and Americans living in Singapore. Minister for Foreign Affairs and Law, K. Shanmugam, represented the Singapore government at the memorial, and the Gurkha contingent of the Singapore Police Force provided music.
It was a difficult period, but I have to say that the warmth and support from all Singaporeans that I felt and we felt was very impressive. And if I take one memory away from me, aside from the horror and the shock, it was the warmth of the local people.
It was incredibly sad. I remember sitting there watching it. I remember crying. I'm from New York. I didn't know how many people I know died or would have died that day. So for me, it was incredible. Things have changed a lot. It's no longer, I guess we're safer, but we're always on our toes. And we always have to be vigilant. But the thing is, I remember my father always telling me when he was growing up, he remembers, and all of his friends remembered, where they were on Pearl Harbor Day. And if you ask anyone in my generation, they will tell you exactly where they were on 9/11.
In his speech, Mr. Edelman said that while they pause to remember and honor the lives of those taken in terrorist attacks, they also stand more united.
Survivors of terrorism around the world have shown their courage and resilience in many ways. Perhaps the best way we can honor the victims of terrorism is by never forgetting those who have been killed and injured, and channeling their energies to help others and make the world a better, more peaceful place.
Speaking to the media after the event, Mr. Edelman also called for Americans to serve their communities and neighborhoods.
My generation of Americans will never fully recover from the attacks 10 years ago. But what we are doing, I think, is we're channeling the energy from those who were lost, and we're taking our inspiration from the heroes who charged into burning buildings on that day 10 years ago, and we're turning it into an ethic of public service and community service. And Americans from all walks of life, I think, over these 10 years have shown a renewed commitment to working for causes that are greater than themselves.
Earlier in his speech, the president of Interreligious Organization, Mr. Ashwin Desai, spoke of tolerance at the ceremony.
The events of 9/11 should be remembered as a lesson of how we react to such incidents. It is important to make a distinction between the person or group who commits the act and the race or religion they come from. Generalizing leads to long-term consequences that we have all witnessed.
In the next clip, an American police officer speaks to Razor TV about his remembrance of the September 11th attacks.